What is up, guys? So that's another day and we're back at it with another video. We have part 2 of this series, which is going to be putting engine in the car, getting car prepped for paint, and putting all the body panels that I want to put in the car. And before I start doing basically everything, I want to show you what I got and what I'm going to do. Here we got some bumpers, M3 style rear bumper, M3 OEM front bumper, M3 OEM front fenders, M3 OEM hood. I got the headlights somewhere. I got the core support for an M3 as well, because it's different from the E90 core support. I got a couple of doors for those rear doors that have no glass, basically. And a carbon fiber trunk over there. Pretty cool, looks like a CSL style trunk. Pretty cool looking. Also LCI, so I'm gonna retain the LCI taillight. An update on the car so far. Removed. You already saw me remove the dash, but I removed the heater core and all the AC components on the inside. It's pretty stripped. Cleaned up this as much as I can. I'm gonna clean it deeper because I have to paint the whole thing. But core support left, not core support, heater core left a huge hole here that I have to take care of. Another little hole here. So since I'm not running any of that, I have to plug all those holes because we're not running AC in this rig. Why am I not running AC? Because it's gonna be a race car. AC is heavy. The more weight I can shave off this car, the better. And if it's hot, just windows down. I got a new mic, guys. I hope this mic is better for the wind noises. But I'm sanding the car, prepping it to paint. Today I'm going to paint the engine bay, and depending on how much paint I have left over, because I got a quart ready to spray, which should be more than enough for the bay. And maybe, just maybe, I have a little bit left for like the quarter panel area. I already kind of sanded that, like the pillars and the quarters. Maybe I'll have enough paint for that. But since the car is black, I was told the color I'm going for is not gonna have great coverage. So I'll test it first on the engine bay and see how that goes. And then depending on how that goes, we'll do everything else. So let me mask as much as I can here so I can get this knocked out of the way. As you can see here promptly, I chose a beautiful color that BMW offers on their new lineups, which is Java Green 2. Java Green 2 is slightly more metallic than the original Java Green that came in the E90s, F30s, F80s, F82s, etc. But the Java 2 debuted in the E87 M2. I think that's the chassis code for that, for the new M2. But it's a beautiful, beautiful color. The only difficulties that I ran into was basically prep work. I did sand everything, but the base that I was working with, which was black, was actually pretty good. It covered really well over black. But the doors, the donor doors that I used for the car were blue. And blue was not a great base for this color. On top of that, I had to be really quick because I rely on the sunlight to clear the car and make it cure properly. So whenever I ran out of light, that's it. I can't paint anymore, and I have to wait until the next day or a sunny day to be able to paint. So I had to really, really rush this paint job, but it came out very nice for what it is, for where I did it, as you can see in my backyard, and for the conditions that I did it in. I do believe it came out pretty good. You're gonna see later on in clips the finished product. But overall, love this color. I hope you guys like this color as well. Green is my favorite color, and I think it suits the E90 very well. Enjoy the rest of the time lapse. Well, guys, a few days later, it's a lot of painting that happened. 4 doors are painted. This is a carbon fiber trunk that I did not show or make a video for on the parts car that it was on, but it's just a CSL style carbon fiber trunk. Painted it and left the carbon fiber exposed in the middle section. Painted the M3 style fenders because these also came on that parts car, so it's a whole M3 front end. That's painted. The front bumper is painted. Has some imperfections on it, but like I said, this is going to be a race car, not a show car. So a lot of this is going to get covered anyways with decals and stuff. This is kind of like almost a whole car. What it will kind of look like. They have an idea. I had to polish this door. I had to. It's too much orange peel, so I had to like sand it and all that. But it's kind of an idea of what it would look like. This Java green is really, really pretty. The engine bay, it came out really good. There are spots that paint didn't even get on, like behind the brake lines, just a little tough. The parts that you're gonna see, which are the strut towers basically, and part of the frame rail, they're painted. I'm still debating if I'm gonna do a wire tuck all these wires, make the engine bay a little cleaner, or if I'm gonna leave them where they are, because tucking wires is not a fun job, and I have to delete a bunch of these anyways because I'm not gonna use them. Now next is assembling most of this stuff, or I have to paint the hood, the M3 hood. I have to paint side skirts, and I have to paint the rear bumper, which is also an M3 style bumper. It's not an actual M3 bumper, but the whole front end is actual M3, so it's going to be a little wider. Hopefully it doesn't look too goofy. That's the update. Well, guys, as you can see, engine is out. So follow me, camera woman. As you can see, there's a whole lot of stuff going on here. CF 6-speed, bunch of adapter plates. I have no clue, if I'm completely honest with you, how this was put together, because I didn't put it together. But it says here PMC LSLT, so probably this is an adapter plate for a CF manual trans that originally had the starter up here, and now it has it down here on the LS location. Everything seems in order. I think the VIN tag, which would have been here, has been removed. I'm gonna clean up this trans a little bit, see if I can find any VIN tags to gather information on mileage. Not that it matters, but engine is out, and you can have a look here at this shell, because originally, before I thought of doing my friend's car, I wanted to restore it to a 330i. But then I got this other 330i, and to be honest, I'm glad I didn't do it because there's just too much rust, like all over and underneath. There was a substantial amount of rust. I mean, this doesn't look horrible, but it's there, and it can only get worse. And the areas that you can't see, those are the ones that you usually worry about. I have to take those motor mounts because they're not that bad. They were just loose in there, but based on the Carfax on this car had an oil pan gasket job done where they usually do the mounts, and it looks like it because the mounts look pretty new. And that was like 2,000 miles ago. So compared to these mounts are really loose. The other one on there was just very bad. But this side is usually never that bad compared to the other side, because remember, BMW engines are slanted. So all the weight rests on the motor mount on the passenger side most of the time. So the more weight, you know, the worse. This Guibo looks good. It looks like this link or this linkage has been shortened and ready to take the chassis mount shifter in there. It has some solid mount or poly mounts by the looks of it. Condor. Those are pretty good. But yeah, it looks like they de-VINed or de-tagged this transmission. So there's really no way for me to see, unfortunately. The previous owner did not do this. Probably where he got the transmission from. A lot of part out people and some junkyards, they'll de-VIN things. That way you can't tell, if you want to, how many miles they have, etc. So I know for sure the previous owner did not do this because there's Sharpie markers on top, which let me know that this is more than likely a part out / junkyard transmission. So I'm gonna clean this up, prep that engine bay. All I have to do is just transfer mounts, put one piece of heat shielding on there, cover a couple of holes, call it that. Yeah, so next clip, I'm probably gonna be putting that in. I didn't show you guys taking the engine out because my camera woman was eating eggs. Busy eating eggs, so didn't get any engine taken out or action. So I'll see you in the next clip. Alright guys, so after that clip of the engine, me showing you the engine and transmission, I put it in and I'm going to show you what it looks like. It's under covers now for fear of everything getting wet because it rains literally every 5 minutes. But the engine is in, trans is in. I had to shim the engine a little bit, as you can see there, or the mounts, because it barely clears the steering rack. So I'm going to have to lift the engine a little bit and file the steering rack for it to fit better. But yeah, the engine is in. And then after that, I'm gonna show you some clips of me prepping the subframes, because this car, as I told you before, had a M3 subframe, and that M3 subframe I had to take out and put in this car. So that's what I did. I'm gonna show you on the next clip me cleaning up the cars or the subframes to put in the car. This is a before. Look at all those arms. Crusty. And this is after. It just makes it look a lot cleaner. And now I'm cleaning, I clean this area here, and not this area here. Just clean your parts before you put them in. You know, it takes a little bit longer, but it's worth it. So engine was in, subframe was in, painted basically the whole car. I still haven't painted the hood or the rear bumper. Those are the only two that are missing. I did paint the hood, the roof. I did like a blue, dark blue to black fade. This is obviously gonna get deleted, that's why I painted over that. But doors are painted. This color is absolutely beautiful. Polished the areas that I had to polish. The only thing I don't like about the paint job is the rear doors on both sides did not come out great because I didn't have enough paint, and you can see they're kind of darker than the rest of the car because there's not enough base on that, but it's not hugely noticeable. You can't really notice it that much unless you're in the shade and you're really looking at it, so I'm gonna leave it like that for now. Rear trunk, my sister again in the shot, being annoying.
Look at her, bro. Look at her, bro. Anyways, back to this. Yeah, that's the trunk with the little carbon exposed bit. Rear bumper is removed. I think I locked it. I did. But the subframe in there, all the trunk and stuff removed. The inside, I did mount that shifter. It's mounted and it works. That's the chassis shifter, that the chassis mounted shifter that other car had. I'm gonna take out the entire body harness of this car because I'm gonna run my own harness, which I'm gonna make a little relay board and all that, which you guys are gonna see in part 3, because part 3 is gonna be wiring and getting the car running and then putting some stuff back in the car. I still have to remove headliner and I have to figure out what I'm gonna do interior wise. I want to do door panels in the front door, dash, and maybe a center console, maybe, but we'll see what we do about that. So yeah guys, that's everything. That's everything for part 2. The car looks beautiful, or it's looking beautiful. I love the color that I chose for the car. I'm really excited to finish the rest. Oh, I do have to put the F80 M3 suspension in the front. Haven't done that. But part 2 is gonna be full of things. I couldn't finish in time for Beamer Invasion. Beamer Invasion was yesterday. Great show. I wanted to record, but my phone was dead. And my camera is not great for recording. It's great for photos, but not for recording. But great show. Saw a lot of inspiration. Saw a couple of Java green cars. Literally a couple. Because this is Java 2. This is not the original Java green. Slightly more metallic. But got some inspiration. Saw a few Ella swaps. Saw some YouTubers that I love watching drifting and doing their thing. I did see Chelsea Denofa in a F10 M5, which is also one of my favorite chassis besides the E90 chassis. And maybe that's going to be another build. I've had a few F10s, and to be honest, I love the look of that car, and I feel like it has a lot of potential. So if somebody can make an LS work with that, or if I can just make a race car out of it and delete all the modules and all that, I think it would be a great car. But anyways, I'm gonna stop yapping. Comment, like, subscribe, help the algorithm, help me out, get my videos out there, and I hope you guys enjoyed this part 2, which is all over the place, but I did a lot of work. Trust me, I did a lot of work. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.